there are only a few months until the much-anticipated Hellboy reboot is released. It's out in January of next year, guys, and we can't wait for it. The previous two Hellboy movies, 2004's Hellboy and 2008's Hellboy: The Golden Army, were both fantastic, and while the new movie was originally intended to be a follow-up to them, the idea of a completely new take on the character is undoubtedly an exciting one. In this video, we'll run you through some incredible facts about the upcoming reboot. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's the best way of keeping up to date with all of ScreenRant's great new videos.
Flo, we've discussed this. Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
David Harbour as Hellboy. We know that this is hardly a revelation, given that David Harbour's casting was announced way back in May of 2017, but that doesn't make it any less incredible. The Stranger Things star is the perfect man to play the half-demon hero, and one hell of a successor to the equally brilliant Ron Perlman, no pun intended. Harbour tends to play gruff, no-nonsense characters, and that's exactly what Hellboy is. He's also got himself into fantastic physical shape for the role, and for the record, the rest of the cast is pretty awesome too.
I don't know, does that matter?
Maybe.
Ian McShane. The second most important character in Hellboy lore is undoubtedly Trevor Brutenholm, Hellboy's adoptive father and founder of the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense. Rather excitingly, Brutenholm will be played by English actor Ian McShane in the Hellboy reboot, and it's the kind of casting of a supporting cast member that ensures us the whole thing is in safe hands. McShane is a huge star on television at the moment, as he's currently starring in American Gods, and has recently appeared in the likes of Game of Thrones, Ray Donovan, and American Horror Story Asylum. So a lot of TV fans will be very pleased to see him on the big screen. Milla Jovovich. Another particularly exciting member of the new Hellboy cast is model and action star Milla Jovovich, who is undoubtedly most famous in the world of pop culture for playing the badass Alice in the Resident Evil movies. Jovovich will be playing Nimue, who's otherwise known as the Blood Queen, a medieval British sorceress who seeks to destroy mankind. We're far more used to seeing Jovovich as the heroine in the likes of Resident Evil, The Fifth Element, and Ultraviolet, but in this case, she's the villain, and that will be interesting to see. The world of sorcery. In previous Hellboy movies, while there have been elements of magic, the antagonists have mostly been physical threats. Karol Rodin's Grigory Efimovich Rasputin was the main villain in the first movie, while Luke Goss's Prince Nuada Silverlance and indeed the titular Golden Army were the opponents in the sequel. This time around, however, Hellboy will be going up against a bona fide sorceress in the form of Milla Jovovich's Nimue. Brian Gleason's Merlin, Sasha Lane's Alice Monaghan, and Penelope Mitchell's Ganeda will also be showing off their magical powers in the movie, and we can't wait to see how Hellboy reacts to it all. Demons, Ghosts, and Giants. It won't just be the witches of medieval England that Hellboy will have to deal with in his new movie, as the titular star David Harbour described a variety of potential opponents for his character in an interview with Collider in January of this year. Harbour said there would be demons and ghosts and big creatures. So it sounds like it's going to be totally action-packed with a wide variety of evil beings for us to feast our eyes on. The idea of seeing Hellboy fighting a giant with modern visual effects is undoubtedly a mouth-watering one. A British setting. The majority of superhero movies are set in the United States, and while the Hellboy reboot will certainly have some stateside scenes, it seems as though the bulk of it will be set in Great Britain, and that's pretty exciting. Marvel fans have been yearning for a Captain Britain movie for years, and Captain Britain's a character who deals with magic and is linked to Merlin. So the fact that Hellboy will feature the famous wizard and indeed have a British setting means it could be the movie Marvel fans have been asking for since forever, in spite of the fact that it's not actually a Marvel movie at all.
What's my name?
Whitewashing. The Hellboy reboot will feature Ben Daimyo, a rugged Japanese-American military member of the BPRD who, following a supernatural encounter, discovered he could turn into a jaguar when angered or in pain. The character's inclusion resulted in some controversy, with allegations of whitewashing when Deadpool star Ed Skrein was cast in the role. However, due to the controversy, Skrein dropped out a week later, and a month after that, Daniel Day Kim took over the role. Race debates are fairly common in Hollywood, but it's rare that the industry buckles under pressure. This was a rare case of that happening.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Mike Mignola. Mike Mignola is the man responsible for creating Hellboy. and he's both written and drawn the character in the comic books for years. Mignola is an insanely talented man whose other notable works include the likes of BPRD, Cosmic Odyssey, and Gotham by Gaslight. He was involved in the production of the first 2 Hellboy movies, but his involvement is much more hands-on for the upcoming reboot. This time around, he's helping to write the movie's screenplay, so it's absolutely guaranteed that the depictions of both the titular character and his supporting cast will be faithful to the source material. Neil Marshall. The fact that Neil Marshall is in the director's chair for the Hellboy reboot shouldn't be overlooked. The English director is absolutely perfect for it. Marshall has been responsible for such projects as the brilliant horror comedy Dog Soldiers, the fantastic claustrophobic horror movie The Descent, science fiction movie Doomsday, historical drama Centurion, 2 episodes of comic book TV show Constantine, and 2 prominent and critically acclaimed episodes of Game of Thrones. He'll be able to bring the laughs, the scares, the fantasy elements, the comic book elements, and the action to Hellboy in spades. The movie is definitely in capable hands.
I'm on a mission.
R-rated. One of the more exciting things about the Hellboy reboot is the fact that it's confirmed as R-rated. Some of the best comic book movies in recent years, the likes of Logan and the Deadpool movies, have been R-rated, and it definitely made them more interesting. The idea of a little gore and swearing in a Hellboy movie is an interesting one, as he isn't averse to using the occasional curse word in the comics, and the level of violence he dishes out invariably ends with blood and guts. Moreover, it'll generally make the movie more edgy and serve as a means of differentiating it from the previous Hellboy franchise, and we simply can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
And that's the end of our video. Did you enjoy it? Are you looking forward to the Hellboy reboot? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ScreenRant for more great videos like this one. Bye for now!